All right, we're good now, Marcus. Real quick, kind of set my situation up. All right, Marcus, you there? Marcus?
Hello. Hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. All right. So I wanted to kind of run over a couple things with you, because, like I said, I've invested in these games, and you know, what I mean, I know what I think they're gonna be, but I've been wanting to like talk to you about, from a gamer's perspective, what do you think needs to happen for VR games to get more popular, or if gamers are the people we're really after, you know what I'm saying, or if it's like more like general public, you know, like I don't know if I talked to you about Facebook Horizon and like that one coming out, but kind of just wanted to hear where your head was at with all this stuff. You know what I mean?
I've heard about Facebook, but I would say the biggest thing about VR, the thing that's always held back, would be the movement. Most VR games, or at least like big popular ones, like Fallout, or of that name, they have a system of movement where you can just teleport around, and that doesn't feel natural.
You said a system of movement that you can just teleport around?
Yeah, it's not like you're walking, it's like you're kind of phasing from position to position.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So like, it's just like more like you're floating.
More like you're jumping, but not jump. Like you'll select a place you want to go, you'll automatically.
All right, I see what you're saying.
5 to 10 years away.
So like I see what you're saying there. Because I'm walking around Somnium Space now, and I don't know if you're watching my stream at all, but and I know there's gonna be a lot of upgrades, and that's the thing. It's kind of hard to see from somebody like that's not in the Discord every day, hearing from the people, from the developers and the game people, or whatever. You know what I mean? That like I know there's gonna be a ton of the hey, that's me. Look at me. Hey, I thought my whole body was supposed to show. I thought they made an update to this, and your whole body was supposed to show. They got mirrors now, so you can, because supposedly they're supposed to make your whole body, but now they don't. I'm just my head in some hands. It's weird.
There we go. That actually looks pretty nice.
But yeah, so like I know there's a lot of updates about to happen, because I follow this a lot. So I guess it's not a bad place to be right here. I'm just staying in the door for a second. But so there's a lot of updates that are going to happen in the future with these games, and they're in super beta, even alpha. I don't know if you can call it alpha yet, but so I know they're not like done on any level, But my thought process is, they're games, they're games in the sense that like, you get on a computer and you play them. You can use an Oculus Rift to play them. There's going to be games inside them. But I really think of these VR platforms more of like where like your social media is going to go. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it. Like people are going to be
like VR chat did it really well actually, because the movement in that is solid. But yeah, that's the whole thing. When you think about VR, first off, it's hard to when real long gaming sessions, they're not really feasible when you think about VR, because people don't want to wear that thing head for.
And I think that's why it's probably best to have like the 2D version where you can kind of walk around on the computer too, and then also I think you should be able to do both. Like I think that you should be able to. I think honestly, and I was talking about this for Decentraland. That like they should have the ability to use like a controller too, like an Xbox controller or something like that. I think that's something that would, because I think that people, VR headsets and what have you, but like you said, they get heavy, and I think for the most part right now that they're like the Quest, I think it has like a limited battery life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure what the how that's gonna work out, you know. For like, let's say you want to, because you know how we be in the Xbox parties, we be in there for hours, playing the games, and I don't know if that's something you can just do, with what you call it. If that's something you can just do with VR headsets, if you got this thing on your head, and I know I was telling you this, and I definitely feel this way. Like whenever the cross between like HoloLens becoming cheaper and more feasible for a regular person to have, and like technology on the other side of like these VR games coming together, I feel like that'll be the point when people really want to be a part of this. Like I was seeing something the other day about VR glasses. Something that would be like way less encumbersome. As like this headset deal.
I think that'd be the.
You cutting in and out, Marcus. You just gotta kind of keep coming with the idea.
Right. Yeah. The thing about the HoloLens too is that it's the whole computer on your head.
Yeah. I mean, but like what I'm saying is when they make that to when they make that a certain way, like when they make that that you can kind of it's not so heavy on your head and it's more like glasses. Like when the whole situation is more like glasses, I feel like that's when VR is really going to take off a lot more. I think around that same time you'll see these kind of platforms be able to do more too. You know what I'm saying? Like the technologies will kind of meet somewhere in the middle. Like for instance, I'm walking around Decentraland right now, and there's like these green walls, and that, it's because it's loading the next parcel. Like I think that's got to chill out. Right? And I know they're talking about it in Discord. The developers are saying like there'll be less of that going into the future and stuff like that. But like when you're walking around,
that's more land loading in.
You're kind of just like you're running into walls literally, and then you got to hold off and let them load up, and whatever it is. So I think that there'll be a time when those two technologies kind of meet somewhere, and that it's more kind of enjoyable to play it for a longer period of time. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, I feel like, yeah, it's gaming, but I feel like it's also going the way of like a social media platform where like people are actually just meeting up and finding like-minded people that they want to kind of be around, and and it's more like that kind of thing going on too.
I see that. But I'd like to see more growth in the actual element.
In the actual game element, you said? You keep cutting in and out heavy.
Because when you look at Decentraland, when you look at games like, you also have to think or look at what are. Because I understand right now everybody's building the world and stuff like that.
Hold on a second. I lost you for a second. You said what are what?
I said, at this point,
yeah,
everybody's just more or less trying to grow Decentraland, trying to get people in here, and to get people. But there's no like common overarching game to it. You know what I'm saying?
So, yeah, there's not like an overall game to it. And that's what I'm saying about it being more like a. To me, I feel like what it's gonna really hit a chord with is more like a social aspect. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not gonna be just like the game part, like the game. You know how? Okay, for instance, I was talking to Pop about this the other day, right? And I'm like, you're gonna have, like okay, on Facebook, you play a game, and you're like, somebody gets addicted to one of those games on Facebook. I kind of liken it to that. Like you'll have games in there, so people would like to play those games, and they'll probably be way more advanced than the games say on Facebook. But it's not gonna be like we play 2K. You know what I'm saying?
But then you meet up with the aspect. I believe most of those people that are playing the Facebook games are playing them on their phone.
And I think that mobile is going to be a big change to this too. Yeah, you would have to have some sort of mobile application to all of this stuff. I mean, I don't know about Somnium, like I can go back to Somnium, but you know what I mean, like I don't know about Insomnium space if you can actually, Somnium might be more of like a game, you know, um, and I don't know exactly how you're gonna be able to integrate, but that's I think they did a good job there was they didn't make the whole thing other people's land. Like in Decentraland, all the plots are right on top of each other, so you can't necessarily have like there's no public space, But in Somnium, like the plots are not like that. You can't see the map from here, but the plots are. I'll pull up the map. Hold on. But the plots are like separated a bit, and there's some areas that are just open, and I think that you would have a better time, like putting like a public space, and they might be able to put kind of like their own games up that are not necessarily just or like a overarching game or whatever, that they would not necessarily just be I'm losing my train of thought, but like user made, that's what I should say. So like in order to have like a large enough game in Decentraland, you've got to have like quite a few cubes, And the only thing that's really public in Decentraland is like the roads. I'm trying to get to a road right now, and so you can kind of walk around the roads themselves, and but you couldn't really hold the whole game on just the roads. I mean, even on like if you look at these roads aren't built for cars. It's not like people are going to be flying around here, no cars, that's for sure. I mean, if they are, they need to restructure the way the road is. They take these plants out the middle of the road, that's for sure. Right? But like, I'm trying to pull up the map for Somnium, but if you look at the map for Somnium, it's a lot different in the sense that like you have these open areas where you could possibly actually hold, open games, like, open things, But at the same time, they have the tents, and so they sold tents in the land auction, and that was supposed to be for kind of those open areas. And I got it now. Hold on. So they sold tents that would be generally for these open areas that you can put a tent there and kind of own that land for a little short amount of time. So I don't know that they're looking to have an overarching like whole game theory, or if they're just like really more just saying like you own that piece of land and you can do whatever you want there. And again, I think they're kind of chasing more after like the social aspect of it, I did bring up an idea the other day in the Discord. We were talking about the dude was talking about planes. He was asking a question like if they were gonna come out with planes because they came out with like kayaks. Which, if you look at the game wouldn't be built for like, for instance, like you couldn't make a speedboat in this game. Like, where the hell would you be going? There's only it's like barely a lake, But I was saying if you did hang gliders, like you could hang glide off the mountains and shit like that, Did I lose you, Marcus?
Is there some sort of like fast travel? Like, can you just go wherever you want?
Yeah, so they made it's interesting though because they made teleporters and they put them up for the auction, right? And the teleporters ended up going for a lot of money. So I'm really interested to see how many teleporters you're actually gonna see in the game once they launch the game, because they I think it was like 25 teleporters that they sold, and a couple guys got multiple teleporters, and sure they probably got multiple lands, but they went for so much money that you almost think the dudes are gonna try to sell them, and be more busy selling them than actually using them, So I'm interested to see what happens with the actual teleporters, because I can kind of go back to walking around. Like you can see, like they don't even have running yet, so you're just kind of walking around this area, and it does take quite a while to kind of like get from place to place. So I could see like teleporting be something that you might wish you could do more of, because you know you're gonna have certain people that own a couple teleporters that aren't even like really kind of using them. You know, like, sure they might have them on their land here and there, but you know if you're busy trying to sell one, I don't know if you can even like really be using it like that. You know.
How do they work? Do they go from one
So they're like
teleporter to another
these little groups. I
teleporter?
think there's an example of one around here somewhere. I'm trying to find one. I'm in the town. But so what happens is you hop in the teleporter booth. And I don't think the one that they have out here is functional right now, but I'm looking around for it. Let's see. But you hop in the booth, and then I don't know exactly how it works, but you can go to, I think, to another teleporter. I don't know if you can go to another place on the land, like just spawn in. I'm not 100% sure if that's what's going to be the case. But I also heard that you're going to be able to go from like different games to different games. So it's not going to be just like you just teleport like just to inside Somnium space. Like I think you can literally teleport to a different game within Steam, or like I saw a video today that they made it so like the tablet, like when you pull up the tablet in the browser, that you would be able to like punch, like you can like I guess today you can do this, is you can use the browser to go right into like crypto voxels, which is another VR world, and you can be in crypto voxels in the tablet, and then like you could oh look at this, it pulls up Somnium space. That's pretty cool. Like so you could be in a whole different VR world in the tablet, and then like still be in Somnium space. So I don't know how deep they're gonna go with that, but you know it seems like they want to kind of really, you know, really go kind of crazy with the VR stuff, with the metaverse idea, you know.
It's pretty dope. I like that.
Yeah. So I mean, I'd like to be able to, like I'd like to be able to check out Decentraland while I'm in Somnium space. I think that would be, you know, something I'd like to do, but you know, and I can see that happening. You know?
Yeah, that's actually, I'm impressed.
This is a teleporter right here, actually. So you might not see it for a second. So you go in the teleporter, and like I said, I don't think that this is functional at all right now. But see, it's got like Janus VR right there. Like I think you can go to Janus VR, and then it has like these other symbols that I don't know what they represent. It's just other estimated time 10 seconds for the teleportation, I guess. Seaside Plaza. So yeah, I'm 100% don't know how this all works, but you know, it kind of has like a little HUD or some shit like that, you know. And that I think that when you own it, you can set that up. So you can set up how you want that to be. You can set up whether you want to be able to let everybody teleport through your teleportation device or not. So I think they have a bunch of different uses.
But it looks like
Hold on, come back with that, Marty.
other teleporters.
What you said? Oh, you cutting in and out heavy.
You said you could teleport to the shopping mall.
Oh yeah. But the shopping mall is here, so I think this is like the shopping mall area. And then this, I don't know, Seaside. I have no clue. I think that one of those things might have been just saying which teleporter you're in, you know. But I think that, you know, there's gonna be room for like I've been saying this the whole time, for like different, like multiple different metaverses, like just, you know, like some people are gonna like Decentraland, and you know sometimes you're gonna get like sick of being in that one, and then you're gonna want to come to one that looks more realistic like this one. I was saying that you know definitely there's room for one in space. There's room for one that has more ocean. You know what I mean? So I think that in the future you could definitely see a couple different metaverses that would serve different purposes. You know, have different looks.
That's actually bad.
I lost you.
It's not a bad thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that, you know, there's definitely, you know, like I said, just room for all that. You know, there's I don't think there's one set situation that's gonna be, oh, this is how it has to be. You know? Like when it starts going, I think that you can kind of go pretty, like they were saying in the thing, pretty deep into the rabbit hole. You know, it's funny.
Still really early. Do you run into other people on this often?
Not on either right now. I mean, like Decentraland's in closed beta, so most people that are on it are like trying to do something, like they're trying to check out their land or whatever, you know. So they have these playtests. I think there's a playtest today. If there is, I'll stream that later. But so they have these playtests that Decentraland puts on, and so, you know, you can like test things, stress test the game itself and stuff like that. So you're not like seeing a ton of people, but like last week's playtest was fun because there was actually a lot of people on there. But like this one, Insomnium Space, is so brand new that I almost never see people. But I seen in the Discord last week, they're like, oh, there's like 40 something people. They had a viewing party, like, and they have a theater, which I don't even know where it's at. It's right there. But they have a theater right here in the cinema, in the mall. And so I guess there was like last night they had like a viewing party of some sort of movie, and so you could like pull up and watch a movie here. I don't even want to sit down. Last time I sat down, I got stuck for a long time. So I'm not sitting down. There's another teleporter.
It's good that they're holding like public events.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're gonna need to do for a while. You know, they're gonna have to do public events and things like that are like that get people kind of going. You know, I know that, like I said, the last week the playtest for Decentraland, they gave out prizes. So they gave out,
this is the MRTV review of the Pimax 8K and the Pimax 5K Plus coming up.
All up in my face with a VR headset. I'm good. This dude just started yelling at me about a VR headset. So I guess they have commercials that'll play if you go into some of these things. So like there's the skins, like, so in Decentraland last week, one of the things they did was I have over here, they gave out these masks, and I actually got two, which is some shit. But so they gave out these masks. One of them is this one, and then the other one is a Jason mask. Oh, I'm not on it. Hold on. Right here. So they gave out, like, you have your choice of like, let's say 5 or 6 masks or something like that after the playtest. And I think since I was like kind of running around like lost, I ended up doing it a couple times, and I got this Jason mask and I got this black mask, and they had a couple different ones, which I thought were not my style. So I thought it was cool, but it was cool to get the 2 masks that I actually wanted. But yeah, so then the same idea with skins in here, where like they have like a Spider-Man outfit and a Venom outfit and a Papa Smurf outfit. And I guess I'm guessing that you're gonna be able to, you know, do that kind of thing. You know, they have this. I don't know how you do the head skin. The head skin looks crazy. It's like way more advanced than 2K. It's crazy.
Scan, they have it.
What is it?
They have a head scan.
Yeah, I think I forget what you do it in. You do it in some sort of Sony device. It's really advanced and it looks crazy. So I'm not exactly sure how that's gonna work out, but and then they have like this bowling. I think they have bowling nights too, where people can bowl. But honestly, I think that just because I don't have VR that I can't pick up the bowling.
Oh, they got a bowling alley?
Yeah, it's right here, and you can see it in a minute. Hold on. This is starting the game. Yeah, I just can't do anything with the controller. I mean, with the mouse, keyboard and mouse. But I'm pretty sure if you have a VR headset, that you can just kind of do this. And I'm obviously gonna get a VR headset sometime. So it looks like I can't really interact with too many things in the world, and I'm just kind of walking around in 2D. Which I wish they would change. I mean, you know, it would be nice to be able to do something. You know, just they got little basketball hoops down here. Shoot the basketball hoop. So like they're trying, but I think that, you know, that it's gonna have to evolve. You know, it's gonna have to evolve into something that gamers are gonna want. Because this reminds me of this PlayStation Home. You know, it's like an advanced version of PlayStation Home, and that was cool. But in order for it to be dope, it has to be something that people really want to be at. You know.
Yeah, I can see people meeting up to go bowling and stuff like that in VR or whatever. That'd be dope.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, I think it's got to be more to it. It can't just be like you'll get so sick of meeting up to go bowling with people and ride this one little roller coaster. I really hate that I can't do anything. I really wish I could do stuff, but like I said, soon enough I get a VR headset, so that won't be an issue. But yeah, I think that the social element is gonna be probably where it's at with these games. The whole like crypto element is cool too. That the fact that they use cryptos to so you can like interact in real money and and sell things. Like for instance, like if you're just sick of the game, you can sell your land to somebody and somebody pick up the land and you don't really lose out. That's cool too. But at the same time, like the social element is gonna be where it's hitting, and I think that like I said, when the Facebook one comes out, Horizon, I think that's gonna really kind of put a lot of eyes on this situation. If these games can kind of get their shit together by then it could be something like another alternative to Horizon, because you'll have like a game where you're like introduced to VR kind of social worlds, and then you're like, okay, now you can do this much more with it because you can own your own land and stuff. But this stuff has to progress,
And the Facebook one's gonna be big just because it's Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, already I saw a video last night about people kind of walking around, and then they just said they were really impressed with it. So I think that's what you want to be, because a game, a company that big that's putting that many developers on something that it's gonna really be, it's gonna be some shit. Whereas opposed to like if you got this situation where like essentially the user is building the world, it's gonna go a little slower, just on its own. I mean, I know how long it's taken me to develop my idea. Like I have an idea I'm running with, but money and time and everything else included. It's not like the person who's building mine, Catherine, it's not like she's like dedicated her whole life to building my project. As well as me too. Like I'm sitting here buying more land in the middle. It's when I'm I still gotta get her more money. But I'm sitting here buying more land for other worlds, and so everything is kind of part time when it comes to the way we're building these other worlds. So I think it's gonna go a little bit slower, and that it's supposed to. I think go a little bit slower in that way. But I think that at the end of the day, these other worlds are gonna be like the alternative to Facebook when Facebook comes out. And you gotta think about it, it's gonna come out. It's not like everybody's gonna rush to the store to go get Horizon and go put a fucking headset on. You know what I'm saying? Nah, they're gonna be like literally, somebody's gonna do it and like, oh, that's kind of fun. I'll check that out. Somebody's gonna be like running around one of those, like, you put your phone in a VR thingy over your face, and they're like, oh, that's kind of fun, and little by little people will kind of gravitate to it, and then to the point when you finally have a better adoption, and then you'll have like people saying like, oh, well, there's another one, and then so it'll take that long in my head,
Yeah.
So
once they're like, oh, you could do something different in this one, or what I mean, when they're looking for something new or something more in depth.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's gonna be, I think, like I said, there'll be that people will start once people start looking, then there'll be something for them to find. Like, okay, well, you want one that looks a little bit more realer, or this one, the Somnium space is gonna be like that, and people are already interacting in there, and there's already a thing going on, because every little niche thing is always going to have its small community first. Like, I mean, I I don't know if you can hear the sounds, but like in Somnium, you can really hear the sounds of the nature. You know, there's like birds chirping and whatnot. This is like, you know, I think if you like get out, like I'm not really walking too far out of the square, but because right now, like for instance, if I walk out of the square and then turn this off, when I turn it back on, I'm gonna be just as far out of the square as I was last time. So I really don't go out of the square that much until I get access to my land, because right now I can't build on my land. They have like the ability for the people who bought land during the Indiegogo. I don't know if it was an auction back then, but it was basically like early investors got to, like this dude right here actually is a good example. He built like half a house here. Like he's able to do that, and I'm not able to do anything with my land just yet. So people are like practicing on the building, and I'm like, yeah, I'm cool with that, man. I'm gonna like, you know, wait until you know I'm available to build on my land, and then I'll actually build something on my land. You know, hopefully by then I'll have a VR headset. Headset in VR. Should be kind of fun.
I like the floating island.
And the floating islands, yeah, that's where they're gonna have.
Can you get up to those things?
It's man, that's no, I didn't know. No, for real. No, the floating island is gonna be for like where they hold like random events for, you know, Decentraland or whatever. I mean, excuse me, for Somnium Space. So, because I went in and asked, I was like, what's up with these floating islands? And it was like, that's what that is. There's things up there that you can do, and there'll be like a time that you can do those. But it's not for right now, basically. I don't know if you're gonna be able to teleport up there or what, but you know, they're gonna hold some sort of events up there. Another thing is, I really wish that the map situation was a lot better. Like you on the map right here, this don't tell me shit. This don't even have the plots of land on it. So you just don't even know nothing. You're just like, okay, cool, west. You know what I'm saying? It just tells you west in the time. Like, all right, cool, thank you, I guess. But it's really not telling me shit. So I don't know exactly. I just think that, you know, this game has a lot to improve, and Decentraland too. And I really haven't messed with Crypto Voxels or many of the other games, but they just all seem to have like a lot to improve before they're anywhere close to where they're supposed to be. You know, kind of like when PUBG came out. We were like, man, this game needs help. You know, and then, you know, if you log on to it now, it's like, damn, this shit's great. But you know, I feel like if it would have been upgraded back then, it would have been, you know, a bigger hit, you know. But with these, I think they did it early enough to where it's like actually kind of makes sense, you know. Because like nobody's really looking for this, whereas like when PUBG came out, man, like everybody was trying to, you know, like, yeah, I want to play PUBG. And like, yeah, well, it's not ready yet. It's not ready.
I mean, I see the potential in it.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has potential. I think once people start building and, you know, you start to see actually things going on, that'll be great. You know, that'll be the first steps to making people want it. And that's why, like, in Decentraland, yeah, I'll switch back over. Because I was kind of like, in the beginning, you know, I was focused on my big idea or whatever, but then I was like, you know, I gotta put something up, you know. So I started putting things up on my land. That's when I got the graffiti wall, and then I got the Omni board from Crunch, which is like a advertisement, like spinning cube type thing. And I just wanted something on my land. And the last one I did was Frankie's Moon World, which is basically like I wrote my name on the floor and then put a big moon over the top of it. But I figured if like it's better to just build something than just leave it empty for people to just like you know, walk by and then they don't see no nothing on the land, and you know, like really, what do you know? Like,
yeah, it's good to have something instead of nothing, because there's a whole lot of nothing right.
Yeah, exactly. And you see me just like walking around. You can walk around for, you know, for an hour and only run into one or two different things, you know. And some areas are more cluttered than others, you know. So like, you know, some people, this ain't Frankie's Moon World. Where's the Omniboard? There it is. So like I bought this, and you know that's why I love the MetaZone, because those guys are actually trying to do stuff, you know. And so like, you know, even if let's say with the Omniboard, I'm probably gonna keep, but like the graffiti wall, I'm probably not gonna keep. That's on the land that I'm gonna put my project. So I just got it just because like I thought it was a cool idea that they were putting together a little store, like an app store that had things. You know, it's like, well, I don't want an empty land, so I want to put that there, you know. And then like I just wanted to test out the builder. So the other day I was trying to remember what the man, I can't remember where
All right.
17 negative 38. I think that's what it is. So I was messing with the builder the other day, and I made this little like I said, Frankie's Moon World, where it just like put a moon and wrote my name on the land, and you know, kind of left it at that. But it's almost like I don't know. I'm not necessarily that I'm specifically challenging everybody else to do something, but it's like, man, deploy something on your land. That shit looks so barren out there that, you know, especially in the districts. Like, so they made districts, and all these people made like, oh, you know, what you call it? They incorporated a bunch of lands together. You know, like I bought land here, you bought land here. We're neighbors. Let's link up and make this big idea. You know, because we can have more space on the big land. And it's like, yo, if you have all this space, but now you have to like kind of vote on what's the next idea or what's the next plan. So I just felt like dudes are just like, yeah, they're you know, they're voting on whatever they're doing, but it's taking forever, you know. So this is Frankie's Moon World. Moon's up there, and then I just wrote Frankie on the land. It's simple, but it's like, oh, at least do something. That's the whole, my whole concept is just like, do something with your land. You know, if you got land, even like these guys, like they did a little something. They just got into the builder and, you know, put some fences up and, you know, just make it look like something. Like, it shouldn't just look like nothing, you know. Because that's gonna give, you know, the central land its, you know, its look. You know, who knows what it's all gonna look like if everybody just has their thing just empty. And before, there wasn't even no like all this grass and trees here. Like, wasn't none of this here. It was just empty grid before, and that was the worst. Like, you just be walking on this empty grid looking crazy. At least they made the central land put up the grass and the trees, so it doesn't look that crazy. But like I said, I mean, I think that if you bought land, you almost have like a responsibility to the game itself. Like, man, do something with it, even if it's something stupid like I did right here.
Yeah, that's my big question. Is like, are more people more interested in this as a way to make money, or are they interested in this as a...
Well, that's the thing is, you know, I think some of the landowners are definitely trying to just make money, which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with making money, but you know, if you're doing it to the detriment of the game, I mean, at some point you're not really helping the land value. You know, the land value is like based on people's want to be a part of the game. You know, so I mean, yeah, at some point you the auction money is kind of gonna wear out, if you will. You know, I mean, without the game actually having some sort of point. You know, so I think that, you know, doing something with your land is more important than holding it and expecting to just make your money back. Like, you know, and people have talked about like the middle of the map or by roads being the most, you know, valuable land. But I think that what's going to show the value at the end of the day is going to be, where is there stuff going on, you know, in one place. Like, where is there one place that I can go and there's like a lot of stuff going on that I can interact with. Because that's going to be, to me, more valuable than land by the road or anything else, you know, because, you know, I mean, I definitely got, like, land as close to road as possible and, like, as close to middle as possible, you know, or as close to things that I thought was valuable as possible. But at the same time, like, it didn't matter to me that much to be sitting on top of the road or sitting right in the middle of the map, because you can teleport. In Decentraland, you can just teleport. So, you know, like, you just saw me, I can just, like, click the, you know, the Explorer, and then next thing I know, I'm somewhere, you know, I'm somewhere else. So it's like, you don't necessarily need to be, what the hell? You don't necessarily need to be, in a teleporter, like Insomnium Space. Like in Insomnium Space, you hop in a teleporter and you're like, you can go from here to there, but only from here to there. Whereas like in Decentraland, I can teleport and snap a finger, gone, and go anywhere. So I think that the idea of this land being more valuable than the other land is more relevant to what's going on in that area. Is there a bunch of stuff going on? Are there a bunch of people building in that area, or is that just a bunch of empty land with one guy trying to sell all that land to whatever? And trying to hold some of that land until next year and the year after, whatever. At some point it gets to the point like if you're not doing nothing with it, man, one of those like shit out, get off the pot, Like for instance, this dude that's right here, all these lands around my land right here, all of this is supposed to be a train. Some dude is supposed to make a train track, but I'm yet to see a single track. Not even, okay, fine, you don't got the train function working out. Like, put the tracks down, homie. It cannot be that difficult to put down the train tracks. So that's what I'm saying.
A single track.
For real, nah, for real. And the reason why I say that though is because you gotta at least like let people know. Like my neighbor, like I got mad love for my neighbor. I have no clue who this guy is, but I call him the king of the stairs. And like this dude at least has made his stairs, man. If this is gonna be a building in the future, cool. But at least he has they're not working stairs all the time. But at least he's made an effort to try to like do something here, and he's not just like I don't know, just leaving his land barren, because when you do that, you really kind of making a statement that you're not trying to do nothing with it, When you put something up, it's like, all right, cool, I'm doing stuff around here, That's really the way I look at it.
If you really are trying to make,
I'm losing.
I believe.
What you say, Mark?
I said, like, if you really want to make money off the land anyway, you should probably have it developed.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's to me would make the most sense, and that's what to me made the most sense. I mean, I want to make money too, but I figured I can make money in a different way. Like when I get my project up, I'll be like selling things and stuff like that. But I think that even if you just we're just trying to sell the land itself. I mean, you should put something on it, even if it's just from the builder, But I mean, if you had enough money to buy all that land, then you should, have thought about how much money you're going to put into developing the land as well, Because who the hell wanted to buy a land that just never had nothing on it, Not that it always translates. Like I don't think that if you buy something, I don't think you buy the scene as well, And I think that's something people are trying to work out too. Whereas like okay, for instance, like let's say the king of the stairs, right? This dude, if he was to sell his land, this whole plot of land that he's on right here, they don't just get the stairs with it and all that. He put that code on there, so I think that it would stay there, but he wouldn't. The next person wouldn't be able to change the anything about the stairs. Like they would just have to be stairs like that, and then that person couldn't like do anything with that. So that person would probably want to erase that and put their own thing down. So in the future, I think that people are trying to tokenize their scenes, so that way you can sell somebody the land, the scene, and everything else. That way somebody could continue on if they wanted to.
It's pretty good.
But like I said, everything's in the early stages, so I get it that we're not like ready. We're not necessarily ready for all that talk, and that's why the game's not out. That's not that's why they're not like advertising it to the general public and saying, oh, you should all come in and check it out, because the bottom line is there's just more to be done. There's a lot of work that needs to be done.
Yeah, it's still in the early stage. Still in private beta.
Yep. I mean, like over here in Somnium Space, I would love to know where I'm at. 'Cause I know I'm near my land right now. I just don't know where exactly I am. So, that's what it is. But anyway, I just wanted to have that conversation with you because I know that you're a gamer. I wanted to see where your head was at with these things, and I hadn't really got a chance to really ask you these questions. So, yeah, just wanted to run through that. I'm gonna end the stream now, and kind of get back to what we were doing. But I definitely wanted to put that up for people to kind of get that perspective of what a gamer thinks about all this stuff. Because I know I've been kind of like down the rabbit hole heavy, and I've been investing and in the Discord and everything else. But at the same time, I play games, you play games, and on some level, this has got to be enjoyable for people that play games in order for this to progress to the next level, whatever that is.
All right. Thank you for having me.
No doubt, man. I'll get back with you in a minute.